All right, guys, what's going on? What I perceive here, uh, I'm excited. Oh, am I? Am I excited? Okay, so as you can see on the screen here, and if you didn't notice, too late. Ooh, now it's a secret. That's why you gotta stay observant. Ooh, nah, but we're gonna get into a reaction video. This is a song called "Dehumanize" by Devourer. Okay, and the reason I'm excited for this is because when I when we and when I say we, uh, I'm giving a shout out to the crafty panda wizard, Mr. Panda out there. He knows who he is. Uh, Him and I, as well as another shredder of the gnar, the liquor of the loot. But but no, we back in the day we came across this band. This has to be, oh bro, 10 years ago, longer than 10 years ago now. Nah, no, yeah, bro. Okay, within 10 years. So we came across this band, Thy Devour, 10 years ago. They had a small EP that I think was 4 or 5, maybe only 3 tracks, and they dominated. Right, they were so good, and we just were like, when are we ever gonna see more? And it didn't take long for us to lose hope and kind of figure that they were a one and done, that we'd never see them again. But as of 3 months ago, ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm a little behind. The news is new and fresh to me. They have released a new track, and it is longer than their original pieces. Their original pieces went, I don't remember if even any of them went longer than 3 minutes, which was perfect for their style. It was just oh my, it was perfect, right? It was pretty much next to perfect as far as my preference on music at that time. And so I'm hoping this comes out good, because I'm still in the process of dialing in mic input to desktop audio through OBS. However, this isn't going to be a video that I'm really going to be talking on. I mean, I'll be reacting. And I'm going to try and keep my reactions minimum as far as like vocalizing them, because I don't want to be like other people who kind of pause in between the song. I want it to play all the way through, and then I'll give my opinion at the end. But I am trying to run a compressor through OBS, so it's going to be so it has a limit, so it won't peak at any point. But I'm hoping it'll still. I'm confident you're going to be able to hear this song and have it bump out, and I'm just excited. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna turn this up. Man, I might even turn up my audio on my headphones for my for my interface, and we're gonna get into it. Hopefully, the lyrics aren't too foul and unrighteous. That was a big reason why I stopped listening to Infant Annihilator, which I guess, at the time when I discovered them, I wasn't saved. But I mean, even their title can kind of give them away. I mean, their vocalist in their newest album was so good. So good. But lyrically, he was just super disgusting. Like, I couldn't deal with it. I was just, no, I'm not supporting that in any way. So hopefully this isn't too drastically disgusting and vile. But I hope those riffs are disgusting and vile, because we love to see and hear that. So we're going to get into it. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here is Dehumanize by Thy Devourer.
prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness. I'd separate the churches first. I'd begin with hand whispers. When the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. And I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. Soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing.
Yo, that was awesome. Oh man. Oh, so obviously on a spiritual sense, it's not necessarily glorifying God, which should be the only focus of our hearts. But as far as I was able to dissect on a first run through, 100% correct. This, as it's titled, this dehumanization. Well, it's titled Dehumanize, but in the dehumanization of basically what we're becoming, it's spot on. And he, as far as what's being portrayed by both the vocalist and whoever's composing the lyrics, which I assume is the vocalist, and the audio clips they're using, for those of you who don't know, this is the exact framework you have to look forward to in a world that is not truly governed by the objective truth, which, as I've mentioned before and I will continue to mention, the only objective truth that has withstood the test of time and man's scholarly and scrutiny skepticism within it, as far as we have been able to find in our tangible reality, is the Judeo-Christian worldview. And I'm talking about even on a scientific, verified application of ideas, right? So, because no matter what you believe, you're exercising faith, right? Because it takes, I would argue, even more faith to believe that God doesn't exist than to acknowledge that he absolutely does. And I think they captured basically the mentality of the Antichrist in what's going on. I mean, in that voice clip, we're seeing that analyzation of, the disarray and the discord between the bride and the people and nations. And that's just as it's portrayed. If I was the prince of darkness, if I was the Antichrist, I would just keep doing what I'm doing because it's working. That is his exact ploy, is to separate us from God, to make us in disunity with one another, right? And that is the whole premise, to fill our minds with these subjective relativistic ideas so we can claim a uniqueness to our identity and find us separate from the norm of whatever it be. We are so deluded with this sense of entitlement that it is our obligation to be so supremely unique from every other idea that we don't realize that all we're doing is brainwashing ourselves into an already pre-notioned idea. Like, everything we do is the assimilation of information passed down from history, right? This war that's being waged is as old as time. Okay, this isn't nothing new. It's just, and that's why, like I've said before, people don't appreciate authentic Christianity because it's the same. Well, granted, there's a lot of Christians who portray it wrongly, maybe even myself at times, but it's this same message over and over again, and we've become so brainwashed by the idea that we always have to be eating new information, quickly scrolling through, right? Our attention spans diminishing, and not even realizing that we are just still playing, again, the same ideas passed down. We are just assimilating information regurgitated and spit up from somebody else's mouth, and we're just swallowing it mindlessly without evaluating the authenticity of that which we are absorbing and being stimulated by. So on that notion, I 100% agree, even lyrically, with what's going on here. It's just, I think we need to be able to recognize both sides of the spectrum, right? Because without Christ, this is the hopelessness we are facing, right? And it's just darkness, disarray, right? People, if there is no morality, there is no right and wrong, and yet we insist on persecuting these vile deeds done by humanity on one another. Wonder why that is? Because as I've mentioned before, in much of my content, I'll continue to say it. The only field of study that addresses morality is religion. And there might be some neurological premises I'm trying to navigate it, but outside of the biochemical components of emotion, morality is still a very unique thing that we analyze that we cannot explain, right? And we find that in the field of religion, and I would argue that, again, continually, in all those subsets of religion, the one who answers the issue of morality with undeniable truth and certainty, with a guideline of how things should be governed and operated in, while also not negating but having something that fulfills the law, knowing that us as finite, imperfect beings can't achieve the objective obligations needed to pursue objective truth and whatever conceivable ability you might conceive. Right? Jesus is, that's it. Period. Enough said. That is the only, that's it. That is the only, enough, right? That is the only answer we need. But I'm not gonna try and make this too long, roady, at 15 minutes. That was an outstanding video on what I perceive from What I Perceive Productions. You all stay royal out there. It was an absolute pleasure. Take care.